the time I came up during the 1950s and 1960s, nobody used a canoe unless they went to summer camp. I mean, it was powerboat or nothing.
When I was starting out, it was word of mouth. Somebody else had already done it. Here's where you can put in. Here's where you can take out. You're on your own.
My dad had an infatuation of this river. He always wanted to go down it. We were building a redwood canoe at one time. He never had the pleasures of going down the river.
Alabama has the most miles of navigable fresh water in the country, but I don't think a lot of people realize that it's here.
"15 years ago, I founded the Alabama Scenic River Trail. I was asked to lead a trip on the Lewis and Clark Trail, and I thought, wow, they've got all this tourism coming down this waterway. We go back to Alabama and put a name on a waterway and bring tourism to Alabama."
Not only is it a 650-mile river trail, the longest one going through one state in the whole country, but it's also an organization that has 5,300 miles of river trails within its inventory. And it's all for the people living here in Alabama, as well as the people that come to visit the great river state.
Getting things started with Fred came down to a matter of tenacity and willpower, but we just got an outpouring of support. It wasn't just me and Fred and the board that wanted the river trail to happen. Everybody wanted the river trail to happen. All these towns grew up along the rivers, facing the rivers, but over the years they've turned their backs on the rivers because there's no reason to pay attention to them anymore. And so that was a problem we wanted to fix right there. It's like when the locals don't know how to get to the water, then somebody needs to get in there and push a little harder.
Back in the early 1900s is when Gadsden was kind of in its heyday as an industrial town. It was the second biggest business town in Alabama in the early 1900s. Due to the steamships and the local steel mill and the Goodyear rubber plant. But as those jobs started to go away, Gadsden started to lose population to its neighboring communities, and they needed to start looking for different ways to get the economy going, and tourism was one of the ways that they thought that we'd be able to kickstart and help drive the economy going forward.
A tourist comes into your county or your state or your town, they're spending their money locally. That's the tourism that all municipalities, all counties, all states want to have.
My name is Carson Dabbs. I'm the general manager here at River Rocks Landing. Current Market and Deli is really a great place for people to pull up on their boat, walk right here to the restaurant, order and eat while you're here on the water. Anything that we can do on the water to bring people in, obviously is going to help our business a ton.
Alabama loves to recruit industry. It is a very vibrant part of the economy, but it's also dwindling in many ways. Recreation is a huge alternative for the economy here. It's always been a part of the way of life in Alabama, and it's always provided a little bit of the economic driver for the state. But for those of us that are working to protect the natural environment in Alabama, we see the possibility is endless, really, for what the state can do to scale up tourism around the nature that we have here.
When you Google best places to paddle in the country, we expect Alabama to come up on the first page. We have sandy bottom rivers, we have class 1, 2, and 3, and 4 rapids. We have something for everyone.
Paddler safety is something that's very important for our state. We're working with local municipalities in the state to put mile markers, much like you'd see on the highway, out on our river systems. And it makes it a lot easier for rescue squads to go out and find those people.
It's important infrastructure-wise to have good, easy, safe places for people to put into the river and take out of the river, but also along the way have somewhere to take a break or camp out. The ASRT is filling in the holes in terms of, you know, putting in additional locations where people can access our waterways.
We also have a really cool program called Trail Angels program. If you go to our website and actually are in need or trying to plan a trip, you can actually call one of our Trail Angels and they'll give you all the information that you need about their specific area.
I am a river angel on the Tallapoosa River. I know it like the back of my hand, the front of my hand, the bottom of my feet, and my toes too.
The intimate knowledge of a stream or a creek is local, always, wherever you are.
Another thing that we are really growing into is our tourism promotion, is really outreach and trying to tell the story of Alabama's waterways, why recreating down here is so much fun.
Hey y'all, did you know that the best and toughest paddle race in the world takes place right here in our sweet home, Alabama?
Alabama 650 is the longest annual paddle race in the world. It's 650 miles of endurance paddling.
The great Alabama 650 race, from the beginning of the Alabama Scenic River Trail up at Wise Lake all the way down to Fort Morgan on the Gulf of Mexico. Yes, it is for adventure paddlers that like to paddle 650 miles as fast as they can. And not many of us really want to do that, but it will generate some interest in Alabama's rivers, Alabama's streams, tourism in the state of Alabama.
October 1st, whenever we have the Alabama 650 race, kayakers will be coming through. We're also going to have Riverfest right here at River Rocks Landing, and it will be a big concert, festival, food trucks, vendors set up right here on the water. So it's going to be really cool to see how the concert goes while we're having kayakers come through.
Sometimes to try to understand the magnanimity of what it can do for the economy, I think about what it would be like if it wasn't for that. What if Gadsden didn't have the river? What if it didn't have Nakalula Falls and the Great Gorge, the fly fishing and things like that? I think that it would not be such a good story. I think it would be a town that would not be as thriving as it is, and it certainly wouldn't have the future that it has available to it. I think one of the things that Gadsden is looking at doing now with the riverfront is developing it for people to be able to use and to recreate and understand how beautiful and how lucky they are to have it, and that it's not just a depository for industrial waste from a big factory. And so the Coosa River Keepers and the River Alliances, the Alabama Scenic River Trail, the people that are involved with the water, their message is being heard and being listened to and being acted upon now here in Gadsden.
So in Alabama, the river state, we shouldn't have to choose between economic prosperity and protecting our environment because they are innately connected. We can't have a healthy economy without a healthy river system or a healthy environment. When so many river communities look to the river for their economic benefit, whether it be marinas, bait shops, boat ramps, outfitters, There is an inherent connection between keeping our rivers clean and having great, sustainable, tourism-based economies.
There's 14 major river basins across the state. There's 172,000 miles of rivers and streams. It's got an impressive amount of water, and in those streams and rivers, we have more aquatic biodiversity than any other state in the country. So there's a lot at stake here in terms of protecting these resources, not only for all the people that enjoy them, but for all the critters that were here long before us that need clean water to survive.
So when folks spend time out on the water, they create a connection with that waterway. And when they see changes, whether it be in sedimentation or litter or pollution, they're gonna feel inspired to do something to protect it.
Our waterways can be a real asset for the state. It can be an economic driver. It can be a way for towns to raise the level of morale and excitement about things that are happening in their towns.
Everybody gets hooked. If you come paddling, you're gonna get hooked. What else do you need?